Welcome back to the Hardcore Road to Insane Final Boss. We are continuing to knock out some of these easy boss pets this episode, starting with the Chaos Elemental, because this boss dies in like 5 seconds. This is also a boss pet that has been made infinitely easier and safer with the Wilderness rework. No more threat of PKers making this boss a nightmare to go for in Hardcore. The random mob spawns and the volcano attacks are just annoying, if anything, and as long as I don't AFK while in the wilderness, there's no way that stuff is going to be an actual threat. Got a corrupted Vesta's chain skirt as my first entry into the Ancient Warrior equipment drop log, so that's cool. I left it on the ground because it's completely useless. And there's 500 kills, which means I've hit the first threshold. That makes the pet 1 in 1,250 instead of 1 in 2,500. It's weird, there's like 10 boss pets with this exact drop rate and threshold. It's like their default pet drop rate for bosses. Got a Zuriel staff, which was interesting. It's kind of a high value item out of all the equipment I could have got, but again, not exactly useful for me at this point. Hey, there's the Ribs of Chaos drop, easy peasy, 841 kills. This is like the freest pet towards Insane Final Boss. Oop, can't forget the cannon. Don't want to have to reclaim that later. But yeah, with the Wilderness update, there's no PKers here. You just basically AFK it. But you still don't want to AFK on a hardcore in the wilderness, because, you know, Hydrix Dragon's going to spawn on you and, like, 2-hit you. And here's the drop log, I guess. 13 Dragon 2 hands. Some of those are from Calfight Queen. But a Vesta's plate skirt and a Zuriel's staff. Unfortunately, didn't get a Stadia's Warhammer out of that, but whatever. There's always Revenants at some point. And here we are throwing it straight into the pet tab. Decided to go for the QBD pet next. I figured it's not a particularly difficult boss nowadays, especially with the gear I have on this account. You can basically kill a phase in one hit with the Saren Godbow spec. I really should be getting around to starting the ED3 grind for an Eldritch crossbow, because that would really speed up some of these ranged kills. But I just want to wait until I get that Grim to start that grind. I'm just not a fan of the idea of killing the Ambassador without a Grim. So for now, I'm happy with around 40 seconds per QBD kill, thanks to that update that made the starting animation no longer like half of your kill times. And QBD is kind of a fun boss. Like the Calfight King, the mechanics are somewhat random, so you never know what you're going to get in the kill, and that just keeps you on your toes.
Reflect.
Oh.
Yo, Chill's he just cated. He was like, I know this is coming.
Off.
Look, there he goes again. Oh, he immorted.
Is that the hardcore?
Yeah.
Good choice.
Do you guys not bring your box traps?
I did.
If you bring a box trap, you can actually catch one. Then you don't need to get it as a drop.
The hardcore is just gonna die.
Bro, he's not gonna die. Look at him, he's bopping
Dude, he's got
Drago.
more. He's got actually. I was gonna say he's got more crit bloom than Thor, but that's actually not true.
I have full
It's
crit bloom.
actually not true.
And there's Vitalis Week Mauled, so that's the Legs of Omens unlocked. And there should be just 2 more weeks to go. Finally got my first Dragonbone upgrade kit from the drop log. They're 1 in 250, and it took 837 kills to get the first one. And then of course, 50 kills later, I had 4 on the drop log. So when it rains, it pours when it comes to getting Dragonbone upgrade kits, apparently. There's 1,000 kills, so that's the second threshold. And here's the drop log after 1,000 QBD kills. Everything on the log is just so much more common than the pet. You're pretty much guaranteed the drop log when you go for the QBD pet. Yes, Queen! That is the Queen Black Dragon Scale Slay! Shout out to the Pub Stomp series, but there we go. QBD scale at 1,172 kills. Not too bad on the RNG for this one, and it's kinda nice to have done a bunch of QBD for all the 2-dose brews and restore drops. Basically, it's free supplies from the pet grind. And of course, a nice addition to the pet tab. Hit 200 kills at Solak, which means I'm at the drop rate for the Grim and at double the drop rate for a Grim or a crossbow. Honestly though, I can't complain with the Solak RNG so far. With the pet and 4 cluster drops, I will take what I've been given here. I figured I'd start working on the God Wars Dungeon 2 pets I have left. I still need 1 out of the 2 pets from Twin Furies. Got a Crest of Zamorak, then a Blade of Avaris for a new drop log entry, and some Averna components. I realized I had some perk upgrades available for my Trim Masterwork set, so I upgraded my Biting Venomblood combo from Biting 2 to Biting 4, for Raxor and the ranged Rex Matriarch. Venomblood is super nice at those places. Also went for Lunging 4 Equilibrium 2, and actually got it. So that's an upgrade from my Masterwork Spear of Annihilation, because I got Lunging 4 Ruthless 1 the first time I went for that. I'm trying to do Rax more often, especially on 2-3 rotation, to eventually get the Mallory pet. I basically just do a daily half-hour Zerk aura to avoid spooky enrages. There it is! It's the Grimoire! I got it finally! Oh, I am just straight up teleporting and updating my preset right now, because I just... might as well, right? I mean, like, I'll still finish the hour with Aoi. Man, Aoi's been like by my side duoing Solak this whole time and finally got the Grimoire. Please unlock it, make it the untradeable version, and equip and update preset for like the 3 more Solak kills I'll do in the account pretty much, because like there's no point for me to go for like dual Blightbounds in this account. Like the Grimoire and the pet is all that I need. Like period at Solak. There's no points in going and keeping on going until I go for like Golden Reaper title, I guess. Mines. Solak is just such a relief to have done on the hardcore. It has some of the spookiest mechanics in the game with the insta-kill through a sign, the bombs in phase 2, and if you disconnect or have a client crash at any point in the fight, you're pretty much guaranteed to be dead. Now that I have the Grim, my gear setup is pretty much complete for grinding everything else I need for Insane Final Boss. The 12% crit chance is also going to skyrocket the FSOA DPS and trivialize pretty much every boss in the game. I'll also be able to properly contribute to DPS for bosses like AOD and raids, even though I'll be using Crypt Bloom for survivability. The only real worry at this point is running out of runes, because with the increased crit chance, there's increased rune costs with using the FSOA. I'm really going to need to keep up on those rune runs every day, and I'll probably want to switch to normal spellbook to use Wind Surge or something that's less costly at bosses where I really don't need ancient spells. Got the Grim at 222 KC, and had 225 kills at the end of the hour. I'll probably be staying at that kill count for a while. I have like 300 pages to burn through, which will hopefully last me all the way into Insane Final Boss, assuming I conserve pages at times where I don't need to use it. Went straight to doing a bit of ED3 so I can finally activate the pet drop from ED2, so I can actually mark that off of the checklist for IFB, including the 182 kills I've already done. I'm kind of deciding on whether I want to do ED3 pet grind or the Zamorak pet grind first, or I guess the real question is, do I want to ECB or do I want any of the Zami drops first? Hey, there's my first Praisal Codex. It was like just over the 250 kill drop rate, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that straight on the Mage Prayer, Anguish. That's a no-brainer considering my gear setup and what style I'm using most. Mage is just the safest, strongest style to use on the hardcore. The tier 99 prayer is a nice unlock, although it feels like they don't really noticeably increase your DPS. They mostly just drain your prayer points way faster. I've been doing Telos like an hour every day, slowly trying to get this pet done. So the tier 99 prayer is nice for this boss. I've been doing 100% enraged claims for a while now. I'm starting to suspect that this pet doesn't drop when you do 100% claims for some reason, because I'm at like 4 thresholds and probably like 3 to 4 times the drop rate considering thresholds, and I'm just not getting the pet. But I don't see any reason it wouldn't drop the pet on these kills, so I must just be getting really unlucky here. Decided I wanted Zami drops more than the ECB, so here we are grinding out the 25 dungeon runs to unlock doing the actual boss. I'm sure they're going to reduce or even remove the dungeon runs requirement at some point, like right after I get the 25 runs done probably, although I do still need a few more slivers of pain to get all the mage unlocks. I can do 2 full runs per hour, and with the penance aura, I use like no supplies other than runes and overloads, and you get a lot of the supplies back from the drops in the dungeon. Dealing with the jailer and those demons with 1,000,000 HP with damage reduction and everything, it just makes this grind just an absolute slog. And there's 25 runs done. That actually didn't take as long as I thought. I can finally start actually killing this guy. And here's the loot from 25 dungeon runs, or most of it. Still need like 3 more slivers of pain to get all the unlocks. We'll hopefully get those from Lucky Charm procs, killing the minions before the Zami fight. The plan at Zami is to do 200% enraged duos when a duo partner is available, and otherwise just kill 50% enraged solos, cause screw solo P7. The pet rate is actually more common from solo kills. It's like 1 in 300 instead of 1 in 500. And hopefully I'll pick up both the codexes and some vestments along the way. And that's where I'll be calling this episode. We've pretty much finalized the gear setup, so it's just a bunch of pet grinds and looking out for group boss teams, going to AOD and raids. I should also be mauling my last 2 weeks of hard mode Rago next week to start doing kills on Bombi Chance, which is going to be a huge pet to get out of the way. And with that, thanks for watching and see you next time.